This is Sibongile Ziambo, the news on Zodiac. The headlines. President Chakwera to institute new commission of inquiry into killings of persons with albinism, says one by his predecessor did not complete work. TUM vows to maintain strike despite fresh offer for discussions with government Thursday over COVID-19 perks. State moves to conclude the 2.4 billion kwacha corruption case involving former MDF commander Henry Diro and others. And in sports, FARM grants permission for its regional affiliates to kick off games this month end with new formats. Now the news in detail. President Lazarus Chakwera says he will institute a new commission of inquiry into abductions and killings of persons with albinism, claiming that the one instituted by former President Peter Mutharika failed to establish perpetrators and markets of the human tissues. His press officer Brian Banda said this at this week's State House briefing. Meanwhile, the Association of Persons with Albinism wants a fresh inquiry altogether on the matter. Happy Njaramano filed this report.
They have still presented the report, although it was read a way back and could have been presented before the former president. They failed to do so because it was an election time.
Presidential Press Officer Brian Banda says preliminary findings of the inquiry shows no conclusive solutions on the killings and abductions of persons with albinism. Banda says President Lazarus Chakwera will institute a new committee which he says will address the issues decisively.
The report was not conclusive enough to find where the markets for the bones of our albinos are, who are the people at the center of this malpractice. That's why the president has directed that there should be new TORs in place, and when the new committee is appointed, then they should be able to find out whether the way things were done in the past should remain the same, or there should be new ways of doing the same.
President of the Association of Persons with Albinism in Malawi, Ian Simbota, says the president should institute a fresh inquiry on the matter.
We are interested in the French Commission of Inquiry that was promised by Dr. Lazarus Chakwera during the campaign period. He said that he is going to institute a commission of inquiry within first 100 days of his time in office, of which reaching today we can confidently say that he has failed on his promise. But we still want to push Dr. Chakwera to fulfill his promise. He must institute a commission of inquiry and follow all the right procedures that were already set.
Former President Peter Mutharika initiated the inquiry after the country witnessed a spate of abductions and killings of people with albinism.
The resumption of public teacher strike has exposed divisions between the Ministry of Education and the Presidential Task Force on the relevant authority responsible for handling the issue. While the ministry is pushing the issue to the task force, the committee contends the ministry was provided with funds in excess of 5 billion kwacha for the COVID-19 response. The disagreement between teachers and government over their demand to convert into cash allocation of their personal protective equipment has led to the fresh national strike. And that strike has prompted angry learners' protests. Our reporters on the ground went on the ground and they gave us updates on the teachers' stay away. And here are the details in this report by Towera Kumwenda.
In January, government closed all schools in the country following a rise in cases of COVID-19, where some of the schools registered cases, but almost 5 weeks later, private schools reopened, while teachers in public schools staged a 2-week sit-in demanding risk allowance. Government, through the Ministry of Education and the Teachers Union of Malawi, signed an agreement that teachers will be given a once-off payment and let the teachers resume work. Over a month later, the teachers have resumed the stay away, demanding risk allowances. Some students from various schools in Zuzu took to the streets Tuesday morning to show their anger on the stay away by their teachers. The students have dropped their petition at the District Education Manager's office, where they say the stay away will affect their future as they will soon be writing end-of-term exams.
We went to school and did not find teachers. We were surprised because we came to learn. That is when we decided to demonstrate, because soon we'll be writing exams. We'll keep on demonstrating.
Receiving the petition, District Education Manager Nimson Gwira said the petition will be delivered to relevant authorities.
Yeah, I will communicate to the seniors above so that they should know that the learners here are very sad that they have not learned to sew today. They have not learned, and they have gone back home because there's no teaching in the schools.
The students were from Zolozolo, Chingambo, and Masasa primary and secondary schools. For Zodiak in Mzuzu, I'm Toera Kumwenda.
Like you heard, meanwhile, the Teachers Union of Malawi has vowed it will not suspend the sit-in until their demands to convert into cash PPE provision is part of the latest offer for discussions with government this Thursday sort out. We caught up with TUM President William Malimba.
We have been communicated through the Civil Servants Trade Union. They invited the Civil Servants Trade Union and they asked them to extend the invitation to us to attend that meeting. That the meeting will be on Thursday. That's very true. And because of that one, we cannot. It doesn't mean that we can change anything concerning to our strike. The strike is still on because we gave the government enough time, 7 days plus Easter holiday, but they did not come back to us. So we cannot change our stand of having that strike. The strike is still on.
In the courts, the state has on Tuesday completed presenting evidence in the 2.4 billion kwacha corruption case involving former MDF Commander General Henry Odilo. 3 years since trial commenced, State lawyer Kamdoni Nyasulu says he's satisfied with the evidence presented in the court from 27 state witnesses. Presiding Judge Dr. Ritson Kapindu has said 18 May this year for hearing of oral submissions before ruling on whether or not the 4 people accused in the matter have a case to answer. We have this report for by Winston Kaimira.
State lawyer Kamdoni Nyasulu admits that 3-year presentation of evidence to court in the 2.4 billion Wajakash case has been a long journey. He says 27 of the initially planned 30 state witnesses have testified, as 2 who are foreign nationals left the country and 1 died.
We presented just about 1,000 documents, 27 witnesses. The prosecution is very happy with what has happened so far. We think we're putting all the evidence that we had wanted to.
During the court proceedings, defense lawyers were supposed to cross-examine the last state witness, Flores Piri, which did not happen. This was so because the defense said shall tackle her evidence during submissions on whether or not the 4 have a case to answer. Paul Nkutabasa is one of the defense lawyers.
We didn't have issues with this witness, and we analyzed evidence, and we shall deal with it at an appropriate time.
Presiding Judge Dr. Ledison Kapindu has since set 18th May this year for presentation of oral submissions before ruling on whether or not the suspects have a case to answer. He directed that written submissions be presented to the court by 7th May. Former MDF Commander Henry Odilo, Lieutenant Clement Kafua retired, and 2 others are implicated in dubious procurement of military equipment valued at 2.4 billion kwacha. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak.
Still in the court, State Prosecution Council has on Tuesday failed to submit evidence in court in a fraud case involving 4 Foundation for Irrigation and Sustainable Development FISI directors. Lawyer for the 4, Gift Nkhani, wants the case dropped following failure by the state to provide evidence on allegations leveled against them. The 4 were arrested last year, barely days after a protracted legal battle over termination of a 2.4 billion kwacha water project in Cheu with government. A court in Mulanje has ordered 2 men to pay 2.2 million kwacha for contravening Forest Act. Mr. Offici Kalika and George Lungu were arrested after being found with 650 plaques of blue gum on March 28 this year. Hastings Yumani reports from Mulanje. Concerned with poor status of roads in the areas, communities in Kasungu West have launched a self-help road rehabilitation initiative to rehabilitate earth roads without arms. An MP for the area, Saulos Chilima, says this is aimed at improving road networks in the constituency, especially now that some communities are cut off from social services due to poor road networks. More by Nonkubwi.
The self-help road rehabilitation initiatives aimed at improving road networks in Kasungu West constituency. Member of Parliament for the area, Saulos Chilima, says he launched the initiative in consultation with local leaders after noting that most roads are impassable as the rain season draws to an end. Chilima has told Zodiak that a good road network is a catalyst for development as it connects people to markets of agro-produce and hospitals, among others.
Once we are harvesting our crops, we need have a good road.
The parliamentarian believes citizens have an obligation to ensuring that feeder roads are passable, saying government alone cannot meet all their needs, hence the initiative. Senior Group Village Chairman Mibawa has told Zodiak that such an initiative will restore patriotism among citizens to own development, as was the case before the Matpate era. He says each village head and their subjects are expected to rehabilitate a road section passing through their village. But the local leader and the parliamentarian have asked government to consider supporting their initiative by upgrading one of the key roads of Linga to Ntundwara. According to Bonongwe, several sections of Linga Ntundwara Road have been washed away and cannot be maintained manually.
Linga Ntundwara Road is very impassable, and as I am speaking now, people have stopped using this road.
For Zodiac, this is No Nkubwi Kasungu.
You're watching news on Zodiac. We'll be right back shortly. Stand by.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Do you know, here at Lilongwe Water Board, we have in place a 24-hour call center just for you, our customers. Anytime you experience a water problem, don't hesitate to call us on 253 and it's free. Low water pressure, no water situation, billing queries, bill payment, pipe burst, pipe leaks, faults, tips, and illegal connections. Just dial 253 and we will assist you.
Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home. Blockbuster Megastore brings you America's finest. Ashley Furniture Home Store, Malawi. Ashley Furniture Home Store is located in Ginnery Corner, opposite Makra House at the new building. Our Ashley Furniture Home Store comes in 5 different styles to suit every personality. Either young or old, we've got you covered. Come and experience our showroom and discover the lifestyle that suits your personality. We have Ashley's signature collections on dining table, sofa sets, and bedroom. Come in store and see it for yourself. Our trading hours are Mondays through Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sundays are closed. Visit our home store today. Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the top stories once again. President Chakwera to institute new commission of inquiry into killings of persons with albinism and says one by his predecessor did not complete work. TUM vows to maintain strike despite pressure offer for discussions with government Thursday over COVID-19 perks. State moves to conclude the 2.4 billion kwacha corruption case involving former MDF commander Henry Odiro and others. And in sports, FAM grants permission for its regional affiliates to kick off games this month with new formats. The National Audit Office has missed the deadline for a presidential directive to release an audit report into the 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 fund saga. President Chakwera gave the order on February 22. He said the audit would take a month, but Public Relations Officer for the National Audit Office, Rapson Kagwaminga, has told Zodiak the investigation is still ongoing. There are suspicions that the 6.2 billion kwacha meant to fight COVID-19 was abused through allowances. Mibawa reports.
It is now over a month since President Lazarus Chakwera called for investigations into revelations over the abuse of 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 funds. President Chakwera directed that the investigation be conducted within a month, but it appears the order was defied as the National Audit Office is yet to conclude its investigations. The delays have angered political commentator Victor Jipofia, who is now calling for an independent audit.
But I would have loved if we had an independent institution, not the government itself, to audit themselves. No, if we had an international independent institution, or even local, but independent from government, to investigate and see exactly where that money went. Because as of now Malawians are even more curious as to what really happened with our money.
Responding to the concerns, spokesperson for the National Audit Office, Rapsoni Kagwaminga, told us investigations are at an advanced stage. Kagwaminga indicated that a report will be presented by the end of this week.
According to our plan, we expect to issue the report this week. But when it comes to investigative audit, issues may arise which may require us to go back and do some more work. But according to our plan, we intend to conclude the work by issuing a report this week.
Abuse of the 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 funds led to the arrest of a number of officials in various government departments, including the interdiction of district commissioners. For Zodiak, this is Chimwemwe Padata.
The Malawi National Examinations Board has extended to 16th April 2021 deadline for registration of candidates for the 2021 primary school, junior certificate and MSc exams. Malawi Executive Director Professor Dorothy Nampoda says the decision has been made to allow more learners register for the exams. Anafem Lamba filed this report.
Malawi National Examinations Board Executive Director Professor Dorothy Nampoda said registration of candidates for this year's examination, whose deadline was on 8th April, has been extended to 16th April. This applies to those sitting for their primary school leaving certificate, junior certificate of education, and Malawi school certificate of examinations. According to Professor Nampoda, the decision was arrived at to allow more students to register for the examinations and has assured all stakeholders that the development will not affect the academic calendar.
The results are just out, and because it was a long weekend, we've realized that some candidates were not able to access their grades during the holiday. So in case they have not performed well and would want to resit, giving them an opportunity to do so.
Education expert Benedicto Kondowe has held the decision, adding that it will allow more students to sit for the examinations following the previous MSCE results.
It will report the students who intend to repeat to be properly registered. So we are happy with that consideration, and I guess it meets the calls that different Malawians had made on the matter.
The MANEB examinations are expected to be administered during the third term of the school calendar, which is from 30th August to 19 November 2021.
In sports news, the Football Association of Malawi has given its regional affiliates a nod to kick off games this month end with a new format with an order that champions be identified by September. The association's competitions and media director, Komizani Zakazaka, says the regional leagues will be played in clusters with strict adherence to COVID-19 preventive measures. And that's how we conclude this edition of news. And before we go, a look at the top stories. President Chakwera to institute new commission of inquiry into killings of persons with albinism says one by his predecessor did not complete work. TUM vows to maintain strike despite fresh offer for discussions with government Thursday over COVID-19 perks. The state moves to conclude the 2.4 billion kwacha corruption case involving former MDF commander Henry Odilo and others. And in sports, Farm grants permission for its regional affiliates to kick off games this month end with new formats. Visit our website zodiacmala.com for more news. COVID-19 vaccination is underway in the country. Make a decision, protect yourself and protect your loved ones. This is Ibongire Jambo. Thank you for watching.
Define your surroundings with the color of your choice. Make it warm, creative, friendly, and vibrant. Coat textures, durable color options, with up to 1,200 color shades to choose from. Be it economy range or